If it isn't old...
If it isn't Mr. 5 Minutes himself.
Hey, I said you guys could have started without me.
No.
We're all for one type of podcast unless Justin sleeps in.
We need Daddy here.
Why does Justin get a sleep in, but I can't,
You can. You did.
We allowed it. We waited for
What
you.
do you mean? You can and you did.
Can and I did.
Chad's gonna bust open his liqueur.
I'm about to bust open Game Fuel.
I also got to fix my hair with some LaCroix water.
Chad got such a good hairline. It's bullshit.
It's okay.
Mine's fading.
I feel like when I'm like 50, maybe I think as I get older, it's going to start going back a little, like Grandpa Heim.
I thought mine had somewhat recently gotten bad, but I went through Facebook memories recently, and there's photos of me at 19 when I have the big, what is it called, a widow's peak or something?
I mean, that's good news. It means it hasn't gotten bad. It's just always been bad.
The widow's peak is this thing that comes down in the front.
The top has gotten pretty thin right here, but I mean, my whole goal when I was in my 20s was to keep my hair until I was in my 30s. And I did it. So
now you can just shave your head.
I might go bald. I'll look like Pete Ricketts.
What kind of resources do they have for that kind of thing? You got any pills you're taking?
Finasteride and minoxidil.
Did you say an asteroid?
No,
Finasteride.
Yeah. Let's try to get a Hims sponsor.
Yeah. I'm actually on Hims. I got their 4-in-1 product.
Give Justin my hairline.
Or you can go to Turkey and get a hair transplant.
I might.
Like all the TikTokers do.
Me and Nick Rainey have been talking about it.
Well, you have to film the whole process.
But Nick's, he's so comfortable with his bald head now that he doesn't want to go anymore. So I'm like, come on, Nick. Let's do it. You can get there and back with a full hair transplant for like $5,000.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with tickets and everything.
It's pretty crazy. Because so many people do it, so it's like such a well-oiled machine now.
There's TikTok videos of airplanes and
airplanes
a guy
full of swollen heads.
A guy will be filming himself with bandages on his head, and he lifts the camera, and everybody else has bandages.
Swollen, red pokey heads.
But how do they even factor in the flight cost for that? Is it that cheap?
Yeah, it's just booking it. It's like I think the transplant itself is like $2,000 or $3,000, and then flights are $2,000 or $3,000. So,
and if you're like an influencer, they even will set up your stay for you and everything. So Justin,
let's
we
boost
get the
these
podcast
numbers,
going.
yeah.
I know we get the podcast going. We could really be on to something.
We
here.
can make an episode. Our turkey hair transplants, total dog shit.
And then just watch your before and after and decide based on that.
I would be scared that they would
when it's healed, just rate it right after it's done.
Yeah, while it's all bloody. I would be scared that they would do like one of those really fake hairlines.
No, it's like they're plugging in real hair follicles.
No, I know, but sometimes somebody has lived so long with a certain hairline that they have. And
it's like an inch above your eyebrow.
Yeah, and then the doctors do just a straight
line.
Because that'll change how you look entirely. Like your hairline definitely changes what you look like.
Some girl on TikTok got her hairline tattooed, and it looks so bad. No offense, girl on TikTok. I know you're watching.
Well, I think all this talk about getting your hairline done, getting implants, making yourself look better is perfect.
It's perfect.
It is a perfect.
And it wasn't even planned.
I love it.
Because there's a pretty big twist in this film.
Are we doing spoilers?
Is it a big twist or a short twist? I can't tell.
Are we doing spoilers? The pig dies.
Yeah, Chekhov's leg extension.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little bit annoyed that one of our funniest podcast lines so far came from a guest.
Are we doing spoilers?
The pig
The
dies.
pig dies.
Are we giving spoilers? Pig dies in the movie.
Oh, frick.
So, Allie, how do you feel after picking 2 movies in a row?
I feel embarrassed. I feel ashamed. I feel like you guys are never going to let me pick a movie again.
It's going to be a while.
You're in timeout.
I will say, Regal Theaters, nacho cheese for popcorn. If you're not dipping your popcorn in nacho cheese at a theater, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, and sometimes you can get... Well, Regal? No.
Regal?
You gotta do AMC.
Oh,
Regal
no.
sucks.
No, Regal's the closest theater to me.
Okay, but
It's really
AMC's
who
way
has the
better.
best cheese
No,
for popcorn.
the Regal near my
AMC.
house. No, the Regal near my house. You guys have to come. The nacho cheese is top tier.
You know whose cheese is really bad for popcorn? Alamo.
Harry, you got to boost your audio, I think.
Yeah.
I think Alamo.
Why are you so goddamn quiet?
If only he had a microphone.
We're almost to 100 subscribers.
Yeah, we're at 78. We only need 22 more people to get on board.
Harry needs a mic.
How's this?
Regal sucks. AMC's way better. They have better chairs, better sound, better
Yeah.
picture,
Oh,
better
for sure.
cheese.
But no, the cheese, no, but everything else, yes. But this Regal is 11 minutes from my house versus an AMC that's like 30 minutes. So what do you want me to do?
Well, Harry's theater is like 2 hours away.
Yeah, but that's his only theater.
When you go to AMC, you have to watch Nicole Kidman do the fucking bullshit.
And I miss her.
Because here they are.
How's this? Is this better?
It is
No.
better.
Okay. Alamo Draft House. Terrible cheese for popcorn.
I guess it's not better.
I'm gonna leave and come back, and whoever's editing this can just fix it.
Suck a D, I guess.
Yeah, he didn't care.
Whoever's
Let's make him edit this
editing.
one.
Yeah.
Didn't even give us a slate.
What a
Whoever's
bastard.
editing, piss
Fuck
off.
the editors.
Let's make him edit this one.
Well,
Whoever's editing this can just
Oh, Harry, you son of a bitch.
eat shit.
He just logged off. He just fucked off. He's probably in bed with Brittany already.
Ew, stop.
He's going, Should we just talk about it?
Should we?
Intro?
today on Total Dogshit, we are talking about The Materialists by Celine Song. It stars Dakota Johnson. It has Pedro Pascal. It has Chris Evans. And we're going to try to decide if it's good or
Look who decided to join us.
total Harry.
Total Harry.
Dog shit.
I'm going to be honest.
There
For
it
some
is.
reason, I thought Celine Dion had something to do with this movie.
What? What?
Yeah.
Does Harry need to do a Spidey clip?
Yeah, let's all give a clap.
Oh, Pedro Pascal.
Stop it.
Zaddy. God.
Zaddy.
Zaddy was our short king.
I feel like he lost a little Zaddy status because of this.
Not Celine Dion. Celine Song. She did Past Lives.
Never seen it.
Everyone loved it. I thought it was okay.
I don't think I've seen that.
What'd you think of this movie?
Let's get into
Let's
it.
get into it.
So it starts off
With
the
cavemen.
2001 Space Odyssey opening.
I thought to myself, did I just walk into the wrong theater?
Yeah.
Is this the movie?
I was sitting there like, what is this?
I was really nervous that I walked into the wrong theater.
You know what I realized is that all of our episodes are like spoiler heavy.
Yeah.
Like we just talk about the film from start to end. We're not like you watch some reviews and it's like, well, I found this to be a little bit this, but then, in relation to this other film and very vague, but also just telling you what they think about the overall movie.
and then people can decide if they should go watch it or not.
Yeah, but we're like,
We're just like, this is exactly what happens.
and then
Scene for
this part of
scene.
it sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of reviewers
See-
they'll do like a spoiler-free section, and then they go into it. That's weak sauce.
Our spoiler-free section is just Justin farting and us
Yeah.
arguing.
Well,
Us telling each other who was late.
Spoiler alert, pig dies.
Spoiler alert.
so
Nicole
funny.
Kidman was the others the whole time.
Are we doing
giving
spoilers?
Pig
Pig
dies
dies.
in the movie.
So yeah, the opening. I mean, I'm fine with the opening, but it was a little bit like, do we need this?
Cheese ball. You know the filmmakers were like, we are cooking. This is great. It is just cheese ball.
You know, the quirkiness had me a little hopeful because I recently went to go see How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. They did like an outdoor theater thing with my friends Riley and Alana. Shout out. And it just is such a good rom-com. And I was thinking, they do not make rom-coms like this anymore. That I will watch that one over and over again. And even when I was watching it then, I was like, this is so funny. And it's so quotable. Love it still. So with the quirkiness of the beginning, like the intro of this, I was like, okay.
I didn't mind it because I
Maybe-
thought it was a rom com, so I was like, okay,
So yeah, I thought so too. And then after I watched it, I went back and to look and see if they advertised it as a rom-com, and they in
still
fact
are.
did.
Yeah, I just watched Dakota Johnson's Hot Ones thing, and they opened it with like, she's in the new rom-com Materialists.
I don't know if you can see my sign, but I put Materialists, neither rom nor com.
Yeah, I did not know what to expect going to this one. I'm sure I did see a trailer, but I just had I had the basic understanding that it was about like a love triangle between people of different like class status with wealth and such. So I was, and I also knew it was A24. So I kind of expected going into it that it was going to be even more grounded than it actually was. Maybe even a little darker than it was too. It took me a while to try to figure out what the tone was, because sometimes the movie got like
Took
a
me the
little.
whole time.
I mean, I still haven't figured it out.
I still don't know what the tone is.
Yeah, sometimes it went a little goofy.
I'm so happy to hear you guys say this because I went by myself. So I had no person next to me to gauge, like, am I just making up this negativity? And when we watch things that suck, I have way more notes because I'm trying to find things to talk about. I have so many notes on this, and I'm so happy to hear you guys say that you couldn't figure out the tone, because when it was over, I sat there by myself because the theater, I went at 1:30. I sat there by myself for a couple minutes and was just like, what?
Yeah, I don't really feel anything about this movie.
Oh, I feel things.
Justin, were you going to ask me something?
Yeah. Do you have a new bird living in your fucking chimney?
Oh yeah, what is that?
It's not my bird.
That's
It's a
mine.
different one.
This is
That's
what we
Harry's
get.
bird.
It's not my bird.
I haven't heard my bird in a couple days.
Tom, do you have a parrot?
No.
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 Yeah, this movie ended though, and I was just like, okay,
Yeah.
sure.
This movie ended like twice, and I'm like, oh, thank God. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, no, this happened to me. I thought it ended, and I started pushing my chair up, at AMC. I was like, oh, thank God. And then it kept going. I was like, God damn it. And I had to stupid.
It's totally stupid.
Yeah, thank
Oh,
God
man.
Chris Pratt or whoever the fuck it was looks.
That was Johnny Flames.
Thank God he looks so handsome and great while he's also this loser actor.
Yeah, like the whole concept was like, does she go with
Such a
like,
loser.
Does she go with wealth and like an easier life and no longer have to worry about money, or does she go with someone who like can't really take care of her financially and kind of is living, I don't know, kind of like on the seat of like flying by the seat of his pants, doesn't have much of a plan, he's just kind of like getting by. But
In the
it
same
doesn't-
situation for the last, 10 years?
Yeah, but it doesn't quite work as well when it's Chris fucking Evans. It's like the most handsome guy in Hollywood. So she's not really choosing like wealth versus poor. She's choosing wealth versus Chris Evans.
Yeah, but Pedro Pascal is also attractive.
But they
Right,
tried
but-
making him look kind of ugly.
Did they?
I
a
don't
little
think
bit.
so.
No.
Did they try to make him look short?
He was still a hunk, and he's like living in this apartment with 7 other dudes.
Yeah.
He could post one Instagram photo and get a better apartment than that.
I feel like a lot of the finances of this movie didn't really make sense.
Yeah.
No, I know in a lot of places, 80,000 a year.
Like the fact that she made 80 grand. Yeah.
Yeah, in New York.
Yeah, like that. In a lot of places, that is a good amount of money. But in New York, with the place that she has where she's living, like, I don't know about
No.
that.
It didn't show much of her apartment.
By herself.
I do not make 80 grand, and watching this movie was like, when she said 80 grand, I'm like, oh, bitch, you're fucked. Like, you're not living in New York.
Well, people do live in New York on less, obviously.
Yeah,
They
but in
do.
those,
Not like
in
she's
those,
living.
Not the lifestyle
crevice
she
apartments.
has.
Did you see her style? She was like rocking expensive fits.
Yeah, I saw someone post on something. They're like 80 grand, and she's even before it when she was like the flashback. Someone was like, when she was broke, she had a $4,000 top.
Allie chose this.
But anyway, so they put the flower ring on the dirty ass shit nails, and then it flash forwards because that's going to be a callback later.
Sure is.
That's
was.
when humans became materialists.
Right when they started to get married.
Yep, they put the flower on the ring, and here we go.
I just really don't believe that cavemen
Did that? No.
did that.
Maybe.
Just club them on the head.
Club her on the head, pull her back into the cave.
Love.
Me keep.
Not as romantic.
No. So, so they did that. And then it kind of opens with a trope that I really don't like in movies, which is where somebody just has an incredible amount of insight on somebody they just met. And they do a little like, let me guess. You're incredibly successful at your job because this, this, and this, but you really think this about love, blah, blah, blah. How'd I do? You know? So Pedro Pascal kind of gave her that speech at the table. And that just drives me nuts because nobody is walking around that intuitive to pull a let me guess when they first meet you. It's very annoying. It's done in a lot of movies.
Also, I don't think Dakota Johnson or someone who's in her shape is ordering a Coke and a beer every time she sits down to eat or drink. Chris Evans was like, oh, Coke and a beer.
Yeah.
So he just knows because it's every time.
Yeah, I was confused about the
She's
Coke and the beer.
quirky.
Is that a thing?
Well,
No,
it's because
just-
they used
it's
to date and
what
he knows
she
her
drinks and he knows her order.
But like, why was the beer half full?
That's how she takes it.
I'm not sure.
She only wants half a beer, otherwise she would get all farty.
I'll have half a beer.
Yeah, I didn't know if that was like a
Coke and a half beer?
drink I didn't know about.
A halfie?
No.
Yeah, she said a beer and a Coke.
Yeah, you never ordered a halfie?
A Halfenweisen?
I do like Heffenweisens. Heffenweisens.
That's what I said.
I know. I was acknowledging your joke.
Yeah, I was like interested in what was going on during the wedding scene, introducing the characters. Pedro Pascal has a lot of charisma. I was digging their interaction together, and then it introduces Chris Evans. I'm like, okay, I see where this is going. This is going to be like a love triangle between the three. But then she kind of just starts dating Pedro Pascal.
Pretty quick.
Oh, she gets...
The movie goes in a direction that I didn't expect, where it's like she dates Pedro Pascal and then they break up and then she dates Chris Evans. It's way less of like an entanglement between the three. Maybe Chris Evans texts her throughout the movie, but it's like never like
storylines are separate.
yeah, it felt like she was just like, oh, she dated this guy and then she went back to her ex. Like it wasn't as complex as I was expecting it to be. I was really looking for that to maybe boil over in some way where like Chris Evans and Pedro Pascal would have some sort of interaction together other than like one scene at a bar when they just stood at the bar next to each other. I don't know. I kind of expected it to go farther and be a little more interesting, but it was just kind of a bunch of like these people are dating and it's just different scenes where people just talk to each other about love. And there wasn't much else to it.
At dinner. That was one of my complaints, was that neither of the love stories were very interesting. It wasn't like neither of them had a relationship where you're like, oh, I want that. You know, they didn't have any fun banter. They didn't do any fun adventures. It was just like all of a sudden they're at dinner and she was like, I don't like you because of your money. And he was like, why do you like me? And I was like, wait, you guys like each other? How did we get here?
I couldn't really tell what either of them really thought about love. Like, I couldn't tell if they were like playing that, because he was like, I want a business contract, right? I didn't know if he was like being kind of satirical or not.
Yeah, if he was like playing into her career, or did they really not?
She's said so many different things to different people, all her clients, that it's like, but what does she believe? I'm not really sure. Like, is she really in it for the money? Does she believe this? Does she believe that?
I thought they were going to take her. I was pretty disappointed with her storyline because I thought she was going to be kind of like a badass boss. Like, I'm so good at my job. I'm really successful in my career, but I set everybody else up for love, but I don't have it for myself. But they made her into a very insecure, I'm not worth anything, who could ever love me.
I didn't think the line about feeling valuable was going to come back. I thought that was just her saying whatever she needed to that particular client. You know, the girl that was crying at her wedding? And he's like, so he makes you feel valuable. I thought she was just twisting that to suit that client. But then later
Then
she
it
was
kind of
like,
made it the whole thing.
Pedro Pascal was like, why do you like me? She's like, because you make me feel valuable. And it's like, oh, that is what she believes. So
Yeah,
I don't
that
know.
was tough.
I
Like,
was confused.
Yeah,
when
that
it
was
started,
weird.
I thought that she was going to be like really good at manipulating people into staying together and getting into relationships and finding those pieces of people to like, I don't know, like make this transaction and create a business out of it. Mm-hmm. As the movie goes on, you see that she's like not that great at it, and she like, I don't
She
know.
was, I guess, good at it compared to the other people there. She had like the most weddings or whatever.
Right. But
9
she starts
weddings.
to
Great
She's
career.
yeah, but she fucking lost it. Come back to me.
One of my notes was, are we making smoking cool again? Because I felt like every time they showed Chris Evans, they were smoking, but it was also trying to give the vibe of like, this is the fun relationship. This is the laid back. This is who they really are. This is her real personality. But they were always smoking. And I kind of thought we were moving away from that. I thought we were trying to
don't know.
make
I
smoking
say-
not cool.
No, make smoking cool again.
I think
miss
we
it.
are. I think we are.
I was thinking I should pick this back up.
Are
No.
you don't smoke anymore?
No, it's been almost. Let me check. I have a little app.
Hell
Check
yeah.
the
Do you
app.
Congrats.
guys want to? Do you guys want to guess how many days it's been?
87.
No, it's been over a year. I would guess 408.
Harry?
409.
You
$1. $1, Bob.
Allie didn't go over. It's 309.
Damn. Well, it's 100 off. Congrats.
Yay.
But I'm gonna start again.
No.
I'm going to Paris.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah. When I
That
went to
doesn't
Paris,
matter.
I kept saying like, man, I kind of want to have a cigarette, and then there were so many people smoking that it actually made me not want to have a cigarette. I was like, it's kind of just.
I
doesn't
never desire
sound good.
Oh,
cigarettes.
I
at
love
all.
the smell of it. I really like the smell of
Ooh,
it.
I love the smell of cigarettes.
What I really love is when you get in somebody's car and their car smells like cigarettes, but
Yeah.
also perfume that they sprayed to get rid of the cigarette smell.
It's like nostalgia for me.
Grandma.
Yeah,
Reminds
dude,
me of
I was
Aunt
thinking
Chris's
grandma
car.
too.
I think smells definitely are sort of like time travel.
I don't
Because
think.
you smell
I
it
don't
and
think
you go
everyone
back to
feels that way.
No, but
No.
smell is definitely like a time travel type thing because when I smell cigarettes in a car, I'm automatically transported to being in Chad's Daewoo, and he's showing
Oh, the
me
Daewoo.
he's showing me Andrew Bird for the first time.
Cute.
So every time I smell cigarettes on somebody, I think of Chad playing Andrew Bird.
I can't believe I had a car that was also a TV.
The
Like
Daewoo
Daewoo's
was a
made
TV.
TVs. Yeah.
Are they?
Expand the business.
Hey, if
also-
you're good at technology, you're good at technology. What can I say? I love the smell. I wouldn't smoke because it would make mom sad, but the smell.
Just tastes like shit.
I want to smoke because I hate nicotine.
Yeah, a lot of things smell better than they taste. Cigarettes, I think weed.
Coffee.
Ass.
I love the smell of weed.
Oh, I love the smell
Ass.
of weed. Justin.
Yeah.
God.
No, it's the reverse, Justin.
Coffee, like fresh ground coffee.
Yeah. There's no way that's true.
Fresh ground coffee smells so good. But like I do like coffee, but it doesn't taste anywhere near as good as it smells. And yeah, ass.
Oh, I think coffee's on par with the smell.
No.
Oh, I love the
Gasoline.
smell of weed, though. Mm-hmm.
I love the smell of weed. I will not smoke weed. No way in hell.
Aren't you cool?
What a Puritan.
I know.
hell?
Because he goes camping and he touches grass.
I don't like weed. I don't
touch
like it at
grass.
all.
I don't smoke it.
I smoke weed sometimes.
Last night, I'm watching this fucking piece of shit movie that Allie picked, and Dad comes down, and he just takes this big puff off this thing in the corner, and then goes upstairs, and the whole room smells like weed. I'm like, did Dad just fucking rip one right here?
Does
I
Dad
asked
have
him
a
today-
Benjamin?
I was like, Dad, did you smoke weed last night before bed? And he's like, yeah.
It's like, I got to pick up as many vices as I can find.
Yeah, obviously.
Comes down, like lights a joint and flicks it at you before bed.
That's rude. He didn't smoke weed at my house.
Hey, Justin, you want to rip some oxys before we go to sleep?
Rip a couple of oxys.
I got some heroin down at.
Anyway, okay,
Wait,
so
this is a great segue into one of the quotes I wrote down, which is, "I do pot at parties."
yeah,
I was like, "Do you?" Because people who do pot at parties don't call it do pot.
Who said that?
Don't take drugs.
What else is
Dakota Fanning or whatever.
Fanning in?
Madam Web,
Oh yeah, and she's in
Okay.
50 Shades of
50
Grey.
Shades of Grey.
Yeah, she got drilled.
It was hard for me to take her seriously because the last movie I saw her in was Madam Web. Did anyone here watch the whole thing of Madam Web?
No.
No.
Saw parts of it.
It was
Harry,
so...
in other movies she's in, does she talk like this? Like, is that just how her general
That's what I couldn't figure
sound? Or was it part of her character?
I was hoping she would show off more than what she gave us in Madam Web, and it was very similar. Like, there was more to it. She actually had a crying scene in this movie, but a lot of her line delivery wasn't much better than Madam Web, and I thought it made more sense in this movie because I thought she was kind of like playing this like more posh kind of serious mingling with like all these like upper class people, so like maybe that like monotone delivery made a little more sense in those scenarios, but I think she's just not very good at some of these scenes.
But also I felt like most of the characters felt kind of wooden and flat, and all the dialogue was kind of wooden and flat. It felt like
Dialogue was rough.
stylistically she was trying to match that direct, weird, awkward, flat dialogue with her acting. I couldn't tell if it was her acting that I didn't like, because I think she can be good, but also I'm not sure. I don't know if she...
Just the whole
is
movie,
good or
she
not.
was talking like this, and it was giving Laura Schlesinger or late night podcast, and I wasn't sure why she was talking this way through the whole movie.
And Dr. Laura Leschinger. Allie! Welcome to the program.
program.
I wonder how many people would know that reference.
I could not figure out the tone of this movie.
No.
Because there were moments when it almost wanted to go into romantic comedy world, which I kind of wish it would, because you
Me
don't
too.
see any of them in theaters. I'm sure there's 1,000 on Netflix,
Yep.
but you don't see them much in theaters. And I was like, oh, here's going to be a big name, high production rom-com. And there were moments when it does, like when she's talking to the all her clients and whatnot, or like little small parts, like the cavemen, or
When she was talking to her clients, I was like, this is the vibe that I thought we were going to get, but it's only for this part. The rest of it is not this.
the other vibe is like, go ahead, Harry.
I thought it was going to be like a Katherine Heigl type. That type of scene would have been in one of her movies when she's like interviewing the people. And then the other scene that I thought was pretty funny and pretty rom-com-esque is when she's hooking up with Zaddy and she's like looking around the apartment and like admiring everything in the penthouse.
While the action's
Like-
happening.
There's a lot that they could do with like a romantic comedy of class difference between like three different people. Like she's more middle class, Chris Evans more lower class.
It was very cynical in parts about like modern dating and what people are looking for and their high expectations versus like what they can get. And there was a lot to play with there. But then it goes into this other world of dreamy, loopy, kind of boring music to like pull you into this daisy trance of low tension drama
Yeah.
of
His,
like weird world stuff, which is like pick one of those two.
Right. I got pretty distracted by how comfy Pedro Pascal's sheets looked. They were very silky and expensive looking,
I was kinda-
but there was creases in them, so it kind of looked like they had just taken them out of the packaging and put them on the bed for that scene.
I was kind of thinking his apartment didn't necessarily look like it was $12 million.
No. Should have had some like automatic blinds and stuff, much cooler gadgets. But the sheets, those babies looked expensive.
It was a nice place. Super nice, but
But I know rich people bad, poor people cool. I get it. But they didn't give me enough reason to dislike Pedro Pascal.
I know.
So he was like, he's a good guy. He seemed
There was no problem with
genuine.
him. He wasn't
there was
the villain.
well, there was a problem, but he fixed it.
yeah.
Yeah. I didn't mind that they
My
didn't
gosh.
make him a villain.
They went
I
full
do see-
tiptoes.
I've seen someone online, I guess people are calling this poor boy propaganda or something like that, where it's just like a movie about showing that you don't need money and like the poor guy as a cutie pie. I didn't mind that they didn't make him a bad guy. The leg extension thing, he had a surgery to make himself
spoiler alert.
taller.
Justin, shit, don't talk with your mouth full. Go on mute.
And so, yeah, I feel like
Tell Harry to stop spoiling.
that was their way
No.
to dig at him as far as being like the rich guy, kind of showing that he wasn't a unicorn. You know, he faked his way through it and extended his legs to make him.
I'm a short king.
You're jumping too far ahead.
I'm a short king, and I'm a unicorn.
Um,
I'm shorter than all you motherfuckers.
yeah, I was kind of like, just go with him, you know?
Yeah, there was no they didn't present a big enough problem for her to have the realization like, oh no, this other guy is where I belong.
I didn't want him to turn out to be like a super villain or something or
No.
super bad, but I was just kind of thinking it's kind of a toss up. You know, you had a pass with the other guy and it didn't work out and you guys argued all the time.
He wasn't nice.
Yeah, she sucked.
He is still in the same apartment, driving the same car. Okay, now I'm gonna jump ahead too. When he's like, I'm gonna get another job. I'm gonna pick up more shifts. I'm gonna make more money. Why aren't you already doing that?
Yeah.
Why are you not already doing more auditions? And like, why are you being a loser only until you might get a girl out of it? It's just super lame. Like, it's not attractive that he doesn't have any motivation.
Ambition, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we got enough of their backstory, what the relationship was like before they broke up. We got the negative sides of it. We didn't get a lot of the positives, and we didn't get
You
a
got
lot.
one scene.
I didn't really get to know the characters enough to even make a decision who she should go with,
On either relationship.
other than the fact that she would be way more comfortable with Pedro Pascal, and he seems to be a genuinely good person.
Yeah.
But like other than that, it's like we don't have a lot to work with to say like, okay, should she go with this guy who it didn't work out with and they had problems in their relationship? They didn't really show me any reason besides a final speech that said that he was like it was going to be different this time around.
Well, and one of the best things about rom-coms is seeing a relationship that you would want. You know, their banter and their interactions. Not to keep bringing it back to How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, but part of why that movie is so great is because this, you know, the scene where they're riding on his moped or where she goes to visit his family and they're playing bullshit and how much fun they have together and how good of a team they are, and you're like, then you're rooting for them. But this movie didn't give us enough of her interactions with either relationship for us to root for it. It was like, okay, you can either have dull dinners or you can yell at somebody.
But I think it's like it was just trying to say that inherent thing of love that you just kind of know is there.
Yeah, you can't do math.
Like you'll know it when you feel it. That's what she was telling Pedro Pascal.
They didn't make that clear enough. And also I was really annoyed that she woke up in his bajillion dollar apartment with perfect hair. Her hair does not look like that when she wakes up.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being broke or poor and in New York struggling, because I was broke most of my life. But like if there's no ambition to do something, that isn't an attractive quality.
You know, if you're in the same position exactly that you were years before, even if it's lateral, but something has changed so that you're trying.
Mm-hmm. Or even if you're worse off, but you like did something.
Yeah. What's he say on basketball when they're like, what have you guys been up to?
Playing Nintendo.
What are you two up to? Just hanging out. Playing Nintendo.
You guys haven't
Hanging
changed
out.
a bit.
Cool.
No, it isn't.
It's not. Hear me out.
Even if they're like, let's build something together, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe he's just got a trouser snake.
And also, she sucked. She was like, all she cared about was money.
Yeah, when she was describing herself to them, she's like, yeah, you shouldn't like me. I'm this. Even right now, I'm thinking about like how I don't want to go to shitty restaurants and fight about parking, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
And as she's going through
And
it,
I
I'm
would have been like, yeah, you're
yeah.
right. Oh, you do suck.
He's making a lot of points.
Making a lot of good points.
This motherfucker's spitting.
It's okay.
It'd be really funny if that's like he's like, just really considered it.
Oh. The credits roll.
Now that you put it to me that way, could I use your services? Can I use your business card?
I know, Allie, you already touched on it. I'm so glad that you guys are also confused about what this movie wanted to be. because I finished it and I'm like, I feel nothing about
I
this
felt
movie. Like,
nothing for the characters at the end.
I don't know. It's so interesting because it's not like Trap where it's, you clearly it's just dog shit, or it's not like Phoenician Scheme where there's something to talk about. This is just like, I don't care
Like,
about
what do I do
this
with this
movie.
information?
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about any of this.
When I went into it, seeing it was an A24 movie and knowing it was a love triangle, I was really expecting things to get more heated and more escalated. And things like the final third, it felt like a movie and a half long.
Wow.
The third did feel like a half.
Fuck. This movie is
Going on forever.
this movie
it
is
had 3 endings.
Yeah, but
breaking math and laws of physics.
by the final, it really started to slow down near the last third to where it did the opposite
I
of
checked my
climax.
phone so many times to be like, this has to be over soon.
And when they were dancing slowly in the barn at that wedding, I'm like, oh, the credits are about to roll.
Nope.
Sitting up. And then they go off and argue more. I'm like, oh, sitting back.
Yeah, and then they're like, let's make her negative about love and marriage again. Let's dip back into that.
I liked the cynicism of the movie, but they didn't.
They didn't do enough. It wasn't clear enough that she was cynical or why she was cynical. And then in a plot twist of all time, you thought you were going to go see a rom-com, and then all of a sudden it was about assault on a date.
Yeah.
So weird.
It was so
They didn't also go enough in that direction to make it interesting. So it was just I don't know. I thought I came to a rom-com. I thought I was supposed to laugh, but now we're diving into this really deep topic, and I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about this.
They don't
And
even
how
go
are they
deep
gonna-
on it.
No, how
It was just
bizarre.
used to make her do something.
How
was
bizarre
tonally
was
jarring.
that little subplot?
It was
Weird subplot.
very jarring.
I couldn't believe it. I'm like, am I sleeping right now? What the fuck am I watching?
You're telling me a successful matchmaking business doesn't do background checks?
But also, how would she be so
Tinder and
surprised
stuff,
that this
yeah.
is something that's possible in dating?
But-
Yeah, but they have somebody who's curating and setting up and vouching for this person, saying you match with this person, you should go on a date with this person. The legalities of that are insane. You don't
then-
even do have any checks and balances.
Speaking
You're
of
just-
later on, that chick is back as her client, and she's like, I'm dating a shorter guy now, or he's shorter than I preferred. And it's like, that's right, bitch. You gotta lower your standards or else you're gonna get beat.
I don't know if she got beat, but yeah.
we don't really know what happened. They wanted to get dark and touch on something serious, but they also wanted to keep you at arm's length from it. They had it be
at Pedro Pascal legs length.
they had it be
At tiptoes. They were tiptoeing around the plot.
Oh,
yeah.
But speaking of legalities, they're like, don't talk to her. Lawyers say don't talk to her. Right? And then she puts on a disguise and stalks her.
Dude, she
Chases
was,
her around
she
town.
was
trench
one
coat.
item away from having fake glasses and a mustache. That was the most ridiculous outfit. I'm like, okay, this is probably the funniest scene in the whole movie, and she's about to confront someone about sexual assault. What are we doing here?
Yeah. And then it's at the end she gets a promotion. Oh, you got the assaulted girl a date. Good job.
and they're like, yeah. I mean, that happens sometimes in this business. But then she still is considering taking the promotion.
Her boss and that character were from different movies. They
Yep.
should have been from. The way they acted was from
Yes.
a rom-com.
Yeah, and there's a scene
Yeah.
when she's talking to her boss, and in the background, there's all these women celebrating and being all excited, almost like a background of a Naked Gun movie when something's serious here, but a bunch of people are cheering in the background. But the tone of the scene wasn't letting that be funny. The whole time that was happening in the background, I'm like, am I supposed to be laughing right now?
Well, I think that was supposed to be irony and to
I know,
make you
but-
feel.
Yeah,
She's conflicted.
The execution was funny.
Yeah, it didn't really work.
It would have worked in a rom-com.
Right. The problem with advertising it as a rom-com is you don't know what's supposed to be funny and what's not. So, like, I let out an accidental laugh when the girl who went on the bad date with Mark P was, like, crying. And then at the end she goes, pimp. Like, it was supposed to be a heartfelt insult, but it was delivered.
The actress was over the top.
Yeah, and
I mean, I think she did a great job, but she was misplaced.
She was in the wrong
The
movie.
whole
Why did they
plot
roller
line-
coaster tycoon pick her up and drop her ass in a rom-com?
They did that with they crane machined that whole plot into the movie, and you can tell they did because they just like needed that to come full circle, and they're like, okay, so how do we get her back into the picture? We're gonna have the guy come back and like knock on the door. We're not like it's not gonna actually go much further than that, but the reason why she calls Dakota Johnson is because she has no one else to call besides the woman who
You're
set
gonna
her
call
up
your
on the-
matchmaker that set you up with
who you
this
have like a
person that
legal
assaulted you?
battle with. Like it, I was like, what? She has nobody in her life that she can call. Like she has other things she needs to get
That's
fixed.
probably why
before
her
she,
dates aren't working out.
like
No friends, no family.
something
no
has gone
interests,
very
nothing.
wrong in this woman's life.
No colleagues.
Just nobody.
But then she goes to save her. She goes to like save her, right? And then she ends up making out with her new boyfriend on the front porch.
On the front porch,
Yeah.
where she's like, oh, yeah, she just got beat to shit. And also the guy was here threatening her. But
I didn't
My
get beat
story-
up vibes. I got sexual
My-
assault
I got
vibes.
sexual
yeah, I was
vibes.
just trying not to say that with you're not supposed to say that on YouTube.
That's what happened.
I know, but so they're having a little. She's like, I know, but also, she pulled a Harry. She was like, whoever's editing it, good luck. She's like, whoever's crying in there, too bad, because my love story out here has to go on.
Well, I guess the Captain America guy was supposed to be played by Jeremy Allen White from The Bear. And I feel like that would have been a lot
That
more
would've worked
believable
a little better.
because he's hot, but he's also like he can be kind of greasy and run down.
He's like every man
Yeah.
hot. Like he's not.
And he's short, so it
elevated.
contrast
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
Pedro and his leg breaking surgery.
It
Can we talk
really-
about that now?
Yeah, we haven't even
first
got
we
there
have to,
yet.
We have to talk about how Dakota Johnson holds her phone like this when she makes phone calls in the movie. Like, who holds their phone like this?
I
Hello?
didn't notice.
Yeah, it's so weird how like the movie's making a
It's
point
actors.
about like how
Yeah, like how Taylor Swift holds her pen. Have you ever seen this? Taylor Swift writes like this. It's just like actors don't know how to use everyday materials.
Just like the video game, Harry.
I'm just like this.
My name, Chad.
Yeah. I'm the caveman at the beginning.
All
Go
right,
ahead,
fine.
Harry.
All right, let's talk about the leg breaking.
Harry
or
was
whatever
saying
Harry was
something.
going to say.
Yeah, the whole movie, I think it's making a point about like height, obviously, but in the end, it's like we're supposed to celebrate. It's like, oh look, this woman's now dating a short guy. Like it's like this big achievement. I can't imagine what people in the dating space who are short would think watching this movie because it didn't seem like. I mean, I feel awkward about it.
Okay, so it's hard out there for shorter guys. It's harder, I'll say. One time I went on a date with a girl and she was like, you need to put in your profile that you're 6 foot tall. I'm like, why? She's like, because it matters. I'm like, really? Which it's weird because like I feel like if dudes put anything about physical attributes.
Are you
it's-
6 foot tall?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm a lot shorter than you.
Yeah.
You're 6 foot?
I'm super short. And honestly, I'm kind of okay with it. It doesn't bother me. It never really has.
Yeah, well, you don't have to date you, Justin.
That's true. But short kings.
Though it is sometimes harder for short guys. Pedro Pascal was like, I did it when I did it. That was the first time any woman ever paid any attention to me. I had never had anyone walk up to me before. It's like, you're Pedro Pascal, first of all, and you're a millionaire.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel like
there's
the
no way.
movie, like, it made a point about height, but it also had a shitty perspective on it, too. By celebrating that the woman dated a short guy at the end, it's like, they're treating this like this huge win, but it seems like you're the one who's setting up this problem that, I don't know, maybe it does exist and it is harder, like you're saying, but the movie thought it was being kind of above that part of society, but in a way, I felt like it used it so much that I was like, oh, this feels kind of shitty how they're, like, approaching
So what you're
it.
saying is the Tinder date with the 6 feet bio, it didn't go anywhere.
What do you mean?
Are you guys still talking or no?
No.
Well, turns out
Well, it's
height
'cause-
doesn't matter. It's because you were
I
just
mean,
an
yeah,
asshole.
you can't even just because you're a unicorn doesn't mean you're going to end up with Dakota Johnson. You know.
But he wasn't a unicorn.
Chad thinks he's a unicorn.
He wasn't a unicorn. That was the point. He was actually short. He's just another short guy.
Just another short guy with a broken leg.
But he wasn't
Yeah.
short anymore.
I know. But when he showed her how short he used to be,
And he
I was
goes-
like, no way. Because his proportions are all wrong. And he just, it looked silly.
And then when she was breaking up with him, he goes, "Is it about the legs?"
Oh, and then she's like, because I've had work done too. And she points at her nose and then her boobs. I'm like, she hasn't had a boob job.
No way.
Yeah, the that line, I couldn't tell if it was supposed to be funny, but I thought it was really funny. I can't help but not think that this is about the legs.
6 inches shorter he used to be.
No.
I saw on Reddit somebody commented that when he kneeled down and like told that whole secret, the one comment said, "My theater gasped and was totally silent watching it," and the next comment was, "My theater was laughing out loud." So it's definitely not just us who didn't know what this movie wanted to be.
He would have looked like an orangutan if he
I
had
wonder-
his arms that.
His arms are way too
His
long.
arms
But I
were
wonder,
way too long.
people that do get that surgery, I wonder if their proportions are weird.
They look weird. Their arms look too short. You'll have to look up pictures. Like you are
Fuck,
gonna have
I'm
to
about
do
to
your-
go. I'm about to go to Turkey and get a leg extension instead of
Yeah,
a hair transplant
Get both.
at the same time.
both.
Yeah.
I'll be a tall king,
With a big
solid
afro.
hairline.
Short arms, no
Justin-
problems.
Get the wrong kind of hair. Get like a blonde woman's
That
hair.
would be so funny to get a permanent hair job that doesn't fit what you have. Just the
When
front, like right here, is just a big afro poof. But
when
nothing
she
else.
when she discovered that he had the surgery, she was being a creep in his bed. She like wakes up and like
Just
Looks at him.
Touching
his
him.
scars.
yeah, just sitting over him, and then he gets all mad and walks off. I'm like, oh no, is this where he turns evil or something?
Yeah.
But it's like I had no idea the movie was going to go there just because they mentioned it earlier.
Yeah, it was so silly.
She wasn't written in a way that like made me think neither of these guys would be into her. She's kind of a dick to both of them. To me,
But she's
it felt
hot.
like she was.
And she's got big old jugs, so that's all that matters.
They weren't though.
No,
It was weird that I didn't feel the chemistry between them.
I think Dakota Johnson has some knockers, doesn't she?
I don't know. Let me check. It
it
didn't
doesn't
seem
really
like
matter. She's I like her personality as when I see her in interviews and stuff.
Well, this is a character.
Not the character.
It. Yeah, she's drop dead gorgeous.
She's really pretty.
No, she's pretty for sure. But I didn't feel a lot of the chemistry between her and the
Interviews.
other characters. And I felt like the ending with her ending up with Chris Evans was so predictable that it was unpredictable because I was just like, okay, that seems like the obvious direction they were going. I was kind of hoping that she would end up with Pedro Pascal or neither of them. And maybe that would be like the realization.
Especially because it's called Materialists.
Maybe she signs up for her own company's services.
Yeah,
the
something.
Or she ends up with Pedro Pascal and lives the rich life like a materialist.
I think that would have been a cooler ending.
Probably what I would have done.
Would have been a better ending.
Yeah, I don't feel like they went far enough into the idea of materialism to even call
It that. Yeah. Like it
Yeah.
hardly touched on it other than the fucking flower in the beginning and then Pedro Pascal's apartment.
They were talking a lot about wanting people with a certain level of income.
Yeah, I just don't feel like it didn't connect for me.
But that wasn't the main thing all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they talked about it when she was like, it's numbers. You want somebody with this salary, this, that, blah, blah, blah. But
It's math. It's a business contract.
yeah.
I couldn't take the model guy serious in this. Chris Evans. I couldn't take him serious as a broke boy.
The play
it's
play was so bad.
Most of the time his hair was so nice it looked like a wig.
Yeah, because I know he's like America's hunk. And it just totally took me out of it. I'm like, this motherfucker is not undesirable. Like, what the fuck?
Even like the t-shirts he was wearing, they seemed like they were like, it's weird to think a t-shirt looks nice, but the clothes he was wearing seemed really like stylistic and nice. Like I was just like, damn, I want his clothes. It wasn't showing me enough of him being so far separated from the other people she was interacting with that I was like, I don't know. I just like, I kind of wish they would have gone a little farther with this character being.
They never really
like,
got along.
Yeah.
He wasn't like a desirable. I guess it's okay that they ended up together because he wasn't a great dude either. He is just his total lack of ambition. Like being that good looking, there's no way he only could get commercials. It's just literally that he was lazy.
Commercials, yeah, no, that's a pretty. It's hard to get to commercials, so that's a pretty big accomplishment.
But looking
There's a
like
lot of
that,
people trying to be actors. A lot of attractive people trying to be actors.
A lot of really beautiful people are not making it as actors.
I worked on a Cox commercial, and there was like, they flew in people from LA that are both men and women that are just beautiful, and they were working on a Cox commercial. And I'm like, God damn. Like, if you guys aren't making it, there is no chance for half of us.
I was at like a farmer's market here in Austin one time, and the guy from Entourage walked by me. At first, I didn't realize it was him, but I immediately was drawn to him. I'm like, when you see like super attractive people in real life, they don't seem real.
Yeah.
He has an entourage. So which guy are you talking about?
Vinny Chase.
Is that about the
Funny
Chase? Vinny Chase?
Mm-hmm.
and they're always, I feel like,
There's a guy
taller than you would expect them to be.
There's a guy in Omaha who
taller
looks
than
like Vinny Chase. I've seen him quite a few times. He looks just like him.
It's like their eyes stare through you.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Can you imagine seeing Pedro Pascal in person? Zaddy?
Yeah, I want that. He was zaddy in this movie.
So yeah, people say he is really attractive, but he's attractive in like a somewhat unconventional sense,
Yep.
I think.
Who's the silver fox? George Clooney.
George Clooners.
Fantastic silver fox.
I bet he is stunning if you see him in person.
What the hell?
Stunning.
Yeah.
But similar to The Last of Us, I stopped caring as much once he was out of the picture.
Oh my gosh. I was just so ready for the movie to be over.
I
Once-
did not like any of these characters. I was like, get them off the screen.
Yeah.
Well,
Let
I
me go
kind
on.
of like
Yes.
movies and shows that go into worlds that I'm so far from, like the high class New York society. I think is like fun to watch.
Honora.
Or Succession is one that I think of a lot. Just like it's full of shitty people, but it's so fun to watch because it's just like so over the top in a world that it's hard to even imagine being a part of. And there's so much they could have done with that, but they just kind of didn't do much, and it's almost 2 hours long, and I'm just like,
They didn't do much with any of it.
I saw the creator of Succession. You just had a movie come out called
The
Mountainhead.
one when they're in the fucking ski resort
And
buying
it's
up
even more
property.
Yeah.
extreme wealth, and
It looks
and, like,
terrible.
It's really bad.
is it?
You watched it?
You watched it?
We
It
almost
looks-
watched it when Mom and Dad were in town, and we watched the trailer, and I was like, these brohams and the whole movie is in this house. I can't do it.
And I
was
love
bad.
Steve Carell, but once I saw the trailer and it's all in one place, I'm like, I do
I don't
not
mind one place
care.
movies. Hateful Eight
It-
was great. The Thing.
No, Hateful Eight is one of my favorite films of all time, but the plot and just these like tech bros trying to
Over
buy
the top
shit.
It's one-
characters.
Yeah.
Well, Hateful Eight was over the top characters too.
If it's one place, it has to be interesting.
Hateful Eight's great. That's one of the best films ever made. It's in my top 3.
But have you seen The Thing?
Yeah, I love The Thing.
No.
But I just love Hateful Eight because I love Clue. I love Westerns. I love Quentin Tarantino. I love most of the actors in that film. It's just that Hateful Eight to me has everything that I would ever want out of a movie, even though it's goofy.
Well, then you're gonna love Mountainhead.
No.
I don't think that's true.
Speaking of Succession, there is no TV show that has a better theme song than Succession. It's close with White Lotus,
Well, the first 2 seasons
Yeah,
of
which
White
season?
Lotus.
Yeah. Succession's theme song, though, every episode I would be like bumping that shit. Like, oh, here we go. We're on.
Ripping a couple oxys.
I don't know. I like the score to this movie better.
I like the
What movie?
The intro song to
The one
Schitt's Creek.
that were the Materialists.
I think the score helped.
Just nondescript and boring.
It helped remove.
I was gonna say I don't remember it, so I don't know.
I didn't know there was a score.
I was noticing
Just-
it like removed the fun out of a lot of it. It just like even the dialogue. It had this when people were talking. It always had this kind of ambient, like low, kind of solemn score going on. It was just like it was kind of draining me. I was feeling just
Yeah.
Yes.
It brought the vibe down. It was trying to be artsy with it, but it wasn't working. It was just making me feel like,
I accidentally sighed out loud a few times, and I was alone in the theater. There were other, like maybe 3 other people in there, but a few times I accidentally went
yeah. I just
looking around.
I'm so glad.
I wish it would have chose a direction because sometimes some scenes would be shot interesting. Like a lot of the conversations where the filmmaking wouldn't be what you'd expect for a rom-com dialogue. It would be like filmed kind of from far away and it'd be profile of both of them together and it would linger on that shot for a while. And just it set scenes like that a lot where the characters are kind of far away talking to each other and you're kind of like at a distance from them. And I was just like, yeah, I see they're trying to be artistic and like put effort into the filmmaking part of it. But then other times they're kind of go in the other direction. It just feels more like a standard rom-com. And it's just,
with the
I wanted them
goofiness and
to pick a lane.
I didn't know it was A24 before I saw it. So I thought it was going to be
Fun.
fun times with McConaughey and Kate Hudson, you know?
I know. And then they hired a bunch of superheroes to be in it. It's like, how am I not supposed to go into this thinking it's going to be fun?
It was the most boring superhero movie I've ever seen.
Madam Web,
That-
Captain
Marvel
America.
sucks.
I think he's the stretchy guy.
He is. Yeah, they're all superheroes.
They're all, it's
He's
a,
the stretchy guy.
how do you have a menage a trois of superheroes?
He stretched his legs out for this one,
He stretched his legs.
stretchy guy?
playing the same character.
Amazing. It was a Marvel movie.
Oh my God.
I was kind of hoping for a Glass, Mr. Glass or whatever split type reveal at the end that they all, at the final act of the film, they become superheroes, and you're like, holy
monsters.
shit!
No, they all have to fight that girl's abuser.
Yeah, he's got giant legs.
I'm taller than all of you. The tall guy's coming. Quick, Pedro. Extend him.
It would have been a very long setup, just like Split. When I saw Split and it turned into the sequel for some other film that M. Night Shyamalan did, I was like, what the fuck am I watching? At the very end, he became the villain.
I like.
Well, he was a villain, but you know what I mean. He became the superhero villain.
Harry, are you Aperol spritzing?
This is a game fuel.
Oh, right.
Look how fucking neon that is. That cannot be good for you.
You shouldn't be drinking that.
It's really good that you got to drink that before what's his bucket cancels Mountain Dew.
Is there anything else we have to talk about? Because I'm over this movie.
This movie sucked.
Just if we're gonna stamp it or not.
I don't think we can stamp it.
Why
I'll
can we?
I'll
I'm
stamp it.
stumped. Yeah, this movie sucked.
I'm
ass.
stamping it because they advertised it as a rom-com and it was not.
But that's not the filmmaker's fault.
I'm stamping it because
Stamp.
the movie just sucked. There was
Yeah,
no
it
like
sucked.
solid direction.
I did not enjoy watching it.
No.
No,
So
not
so
at all.
all right. So what is dog shit then? If you say I did not enjoy watching it, but I can't call it total dog shit.
Look, because people are like putting their time and creative effort and a lot of like energy into
Okay,
making
then we
stuff.
need to change the name of the podcast, Chad.
Yeah, we need to change the name of the podcast to people putting in creative time and energy.
We need to change the podcast to a lot of work goes into those.
A lot of work goes into
That's what we
that.
should have called it. We should have called it a lot of work goes into those.
It does. I mean, if you guys want to stamp it, you can.
I'm gonna stamp it.
Tonight on, is it all right? Is it okay?
I acknowledge that people put a lot of work into it, and I respect the creative industry. For me personally, and movies that I enjoy, this is total dog shit.
I liked it for what it could have been And there were like cynical, funny parts that I was like, yeah, let's go in this direction, but it didn't.
They weren't
go.
redeeming enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie.
It's by committee, so Harry?
I didn't like it. I didn't like really start to get bored till when they get to the wedding scene. I was
Till
pretty
the third half.
interested in it, and then by the end of it I was just like, I can't imagine ever being in a place where I'd feel like rewatching this. And I couldn't imagine like who would is like who is this for?
I would rewatch the Pedro Pascal scene where he's scrunching down.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a clip
Just
on YouTube.
Splice it into Tiptoes.
Yeah. I would
Dude,
get
we should
all
splice that
day.
scene into Tiptoes. Like he leans down to talk to Gary Oldman. Chelsea came down while I was watching it, and I looked at her like I must have looked at her with the most just face of dread and boredom. Like I looked at her like, please
Help me.
I was so
Help me.
bored because it kept ending, and I was like, just
Yeah.
fucking end.
It is
man.
so boring.
And
You're
she
doing
goes,
the
"How-"
same thing.
She goes, how's the movie? And I go, I think this was made for like divorced moms because I don't understand any of this.
No, divorced millennial moms.
It's so bad.
Yeah. Yeah, that was bad.
Divorced moms.
That's what it felt like. Like that's the only people liking this movie.
I texted Chelsea when you started watching it, and I was like, Justin's in for a real treat. This movie sucked.
It's divorced millennial moms in New York who liked past lives.
Yeah. I like when I got done watching it, I was like,
I think Harry secretly liked it a little bit.
I didn't like care. Like we've talked about this. I didn't care about their relationships. I didn't care who she ended up with. I honestly did not give a shit. And then I was thinking like, all right, so what am I looking for in a movie like this? Like, I think they set me up with like these characters that maybe none of them should really be together. And I kept thinking of Eternal Sunshine, where those two characters, they're not really a great fit, but in the end, like they're kind of doomed to fail as a relationship. But at the same time, like you wanted them to try. You really wanted them to at least go for it. Them knowing they're not gonna.
Because they felt something, and you could see that they felt something.
Yeah, and by the end of it, I felt it with them.
Yeah, we didn't see them feel anything with each other.
Yeah, and it's not fair to compare it to Eternal Sunshine because that's like I think it is my favorite movie of all time.
It's one of the best movies ever made. It's in my top 3 with Hateful Eight.
Yeah, so it's not fair to compare the two, but I was just like, what am I looking for that I'm not getting? And it's just like just caring about the characters, which I didn't leave caring about any of them. So I don't think it's total dog shit because like there's another movie we watched recently that I don't know if it's coming out before this podcast or after, but one of them is worse. There's movies that are
You can't just compare everything to that one just because that one was total dog shit.
Once we start filming a new episode, the slate is clean. I'm going into it and trying to figure out
like what my criteria is for total dog shit because I don't think this was total dog shit. I just like
All right,
I
fuck
think
it.
part of
Harry,
it-
you're outvoted. Total dog shit.
it's total dog shit.
all right, fuck it. It's total dog shit. I mean, I would never watch it again. And if somebody asked me to like watch it with them, I would decline. So
I think
total
that
dog
has to
shit.
be part of the criteria.
If you're not
Like,
going to make
I
me
would
care about
never-
the characters, then you have to do something else that I care about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only
It's
laughed. I think I laughed
total-
3 times in the whole movie, and for a 2-hour-long
I
movie,
didn't laugh once. This movie sucked.
I laughed once, and it was when one of her clients said, "Do you think he's going to like me?" And she goes, "I think you're really going to like him." That was a little funny, but that was the only thing that was funny, and it was advertised to me as a rom-com. There was little to no com.
I did laugh every time they talked about how they feel valued. I'm like, ooh, the dentist system. You're demonstrating their value.
Demonstrate value.
Justin, you're going to have to animate a stamp for us.
Yep.
Engage physically, neglect emotionally, engage physically, nurture the dependence, neglect emotionally,
What's the D?
demonstrate value, engage physically, nurture dependence, neglect emotionally, inspire hope, separate entirely.
Yeah.
I can't believe I remember all that.
Well, I hope they break up and she ends up alone.
Yeah, kind of.
Yep, it's probably gonna
And
happen.
then there's Mac. Move in after completion.
Yep, and they all came full circle at the end. He ends up ordering food from a cart, and he gives her the flower ring. Yay!
And he's like, "You to make a very poor financial decision."
Yeah.
I'm like, she already is. She's already with you.
Yeah, everything
How
she said the
romantic.
whole movie was about how all these things matter to her, and at the end they just don't anymore.
He tried giving the romantic speech of like, that's my final offer. That's all I can give you. He was saying, what, I can give you devotion. He was saying I can be devoted to you or I can love you or something because that's all he can offer. And I was like, this is the moment in the rom-com where I'm supposed to feel something for that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like,
I hope 2 grown adults can live off $80,000 a year in New York.
Oh,
Hopefully things work out.
she gets to negotiate a salary however high she wants, apparently.
and keep her job where they don't do background checks. And she revealed
And
this
she stalks her
huge problem with
clients that
her,
are suing the company.
this huge morality problem with her job that never got resolved. And now she's like, well, you can get paid more. And she's like, well, think about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like
In
the
that
whole
case.
movie was like an indictment on the matchmaking process, and at the end it's like, actually, keep it going. It's
I'll do
gonna
it.
work this time.
More money, you say?
Yeah, on Arrested Development, somehow people delude themselves into thinking it will work for them, but maybe it will work for us.
Yeah.
It would be so funny if she was wearing the glasses and mustache and big old nose while following
She
the
might
client.
as well. She truly might as well.
She had, like,
have.
a fucking
She
trench
looked
coat on and a hat.
That trench coat was ridiculous.
I don't know what they were thinking with that outfit choice.
I don't know what they're thinking for a lot of it.
Yeah.
Good idea, good concept, could have worked.
I was
Bad
excited for it.
execution.
It pains me to stamp it. It truly does. But
I was not excited for it, but
2 of
I
Allie's
just wanted it
picks
to be
in a
good.
row.
When the
Wow.
movie started, like Brittany wasn't going to watch it, and it started, and I'm like, it's pretty interesting. Like it's the wedding scene. I'm like, Brittany, you should take a break and watch this. I think you'll like it. By the end of it, Brittany's like, I didn't really like it. I'm sorry.
I think people that are saying they like it feel like they have to
yeah,
because she's like an indie darling, sort of.
yeah. And Pedro Pascal is Zaddy.
Well, I'm done talking about this fucking movie. I don't ever want to think about it again.
I don't.
I'm out
yeah.
of here.
I'm gone.
It's a great way to end it.
Yeah.
All right, turds. Make sure you wipe and subscribe,
Wipe
flush
and
that like
subscribe.
button, and all that stuff.
Wipe and subscribe like I'm going to wipe this film from my fucking memory.
Thanks for being here, Brittany. We'll see you next time.
See you on Games Night.
Bye. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Ha!